Section 4.6. In this section, we will graph a line using the x and y intercepts, and we will also graph horizontal and vertical lines. The graph of the equation x minus 2y equals 4 is shown below. The graph crosses the x-axis at the point with the coordinates 4, 0. This point is called the x-intercept. Also notice that the graph crosses the y-axis at the point with the coordinates 0, negative 2. What's this point right here? This point is called the y-intercept. So one thing I really want to kind of reinforce here is this point right here is the x-intercept. Notice that the ordered pair for this point is 4, 0. Notice if a line is intersecting a point that's right on the x-axis, that's its y or its x-intercept, and notice that the y will always be 0. Now look at the point where the line is crossing the y-axis or the y-intercept. Notice this point right here, the ordered pair of that point is 0, negative 2. Notice this ordered pair has an x of 0 and a y of negative 2. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is an x-intercept will always have a y that's 0, and a y-intercept will always have an x that's 0. So this is a procedure that we will use for finding the x and y intercepts. To find the x-intercept, we will plug in 0 for y and solve for x. And then to find the y-intercept, we will plug 0 in for x and solve for y. Now note that graphing a linear equation by finding the x and y intercepts is an efficient way to graph a line when the linear equation is in the form ax plus by equals c. In other words, it's in standard form, and when a and b divide c evenly. And I will show you what I mean when we're looking at the next example. So we are going to graph the line 3x minus 2y equals 6 by using the x and y intercepts. Now notice that this line is in standard form. Ax plus by equals c. Okay, so it's in standard form. And also notice that 3 as well as negative 2 will divide 6 evenly. So that kind of lets you know that this would be graphing this line by finding its x and y intercepts would be a good way to graph this line. So to find our x-intercept, remember we want to plug in 0 for y. Okay, so my equation is 3x minus 2y equals 6, and I'm going to plug 0 in for y. So I'm going to have 3x minus 2 multiplied by 0 equals 6. Well, negative 2 times 0 is just 0. So I'm left with 3x equals 6. I divide both sides by 3. So x is equal to 2. So I've just found a solution to that equation, which is the ordered pair. My x is 2 when I plugged in 0 for y. So you can see that your x-intercept is going to be starting at the origin. We're going to go right 2, up or down 0. Okay, that's your x-intercept, 2, 0. Now we'll go ahead and find our y-intercept. So now we will plug in 0 for x. So using the same equation, 3x minus 2y equals 6, I'm going to have 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 6. 3 times 0 is 0. So I'm left with negative 2y equals 6. Divide both sides by negative 2. And you see that y is equal to negative 3. So when our x is 0, y is negative 3. So we found our y-intercept. So let's plot that point. We'll go left to right 0 down to negative 3. And recall, you only need 2 points to draw the equation of a line. If you wanted to plug in another value and find another point of the line, you could. But I'm just going to go ahead and connect the 2 points. And so there's the graph of the line 3x minus 2y equals 6. Identify the x and y intercepts. Write your answers as ordered pairs. So in this example, A and B, we're not going to graph them. We'll just go ahead and find the x and y intercept. Okay? So to find my x-intercept, I'm plugging in 0 for y. I'm using the equation 2x minus 3y equals negative 6. So I'm going to have 2x minus 3 multiplied by 0 equals negative 6. 3 times 0 is 0 though, so we have 2x equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 2, and you see that x is equal to negative 3. Okay? So your x-intercept is the ordered pair negative 3, 0. Okay? Now we'll find my y-intercept. I'm just going to draw a line here so that we have room to do b. I'm going to plug 0 for x. So my equation 2x minus 3y equals negative 6. I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 0 minus 3y equals negative 6. 2 times 0 is 0, so I'm just left with negative 3y equals negative 6. To solve for y, I'll divide both sides by negative 3, so y is equal to 2. So when my x is 0, my y is 2. So you have your x-intercept and your y-intercept. 4x minus 3y equals 6. Now notice in this one, 4 does not divide 6 evenly. 3 does, but 4 doesn't. So we're going to have a fraction in our answer here. So it wouldn't be real fun graphing it, but we can still find the x and y intercepts. Okay, so let's find my x-intercept. I'm trying to save some room here. So I'm plugging in 0 for y. I'm going to have 4x, 3y. I'll just write the equation first. Okay, so I'm going to have 4x minus 3 multiplied by 0 equals 6. 3 times 0 is 0, so I have 4x equals 6. Divide both sides by 4. So x is equal to 6/4. Of course, we can reduce that if we divide the top and bottom by 2. So x is equal to 3/2. So my x-intercept is 3/2, 0. So that would be 1.5. If you were going to have to graph it, you'd have to go right 1.5 on the x-axis. And then to find my y-intercept, my equation 4x minus 3y equals 6. Now I'm plugging in 0 for x, so I have 4 times 0 minus 3y equals 6. 4 times 0 is nothing, 0. I have negative 3y equals 6. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. So you can see that y is equal to negative 2. So my y-intercept is the point 0, negative 2. All right, let's practice graphing some lines by finding the x and y intercepts. 5x plus 2y equals 10. To find my x-intercept, five x plus 2y equals 10. My plus sign. Okay, so I'm finding my x-intercept, so let's plug 0 in for y. So I'm going to have 5x plus 2 times 0 equals 10. 2 multiplied by 0 is nothing, so I have 5x equals 10. Divide by 5, divide by 5. So you can see that x is equal to 2. So that's the ordered pair 2, 0. So on my graph, I'm going to go right 2, up or down 0. There's your x-intercept. Now I need to find my y-intercept. Five x plus 2y equals 10. I'm going to have 5 multiplied by 0 plus 2y equals 10. 5 times 0 is 0. Divide both sides by 2. So y is equal to 5. So my y-intercept is the point 0, 5. So that's left or right 0 and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the line goes through those 2 points. Oh my goodness. Does not like something that I'm doing. There we go. So here was your x-intercept, and here's your y-intercept, 0, 5. Let's try another one. I'll try to be neater. 3x minus 4y equals negative 12, x-intercept. I'm not going to rewrite the equation. I'm plugging 0 in for y, so I'm going to have 3x minus 4 multiplied by 0 equals negative 12. 4 times 0 is 0, so I get 3x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to negative 4. So negative 4, 0. That's your x-intercept. So that's left negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up or down 0. My y-intercept. Plugging in 0 for x, I will have 3 multiplied by 0 minus 4y equals negative 12. 3 times 0 is 0, so I have negative 4y equals negative 12. Divide both sides by negative 4. So y is equal to positive 3. So your y-intercept is the point. I'm trying to figure out where you want to see it. 0, 3. Never works good at the bottom there. So that's left or right 0, up 3. 1, 2, 3. That point right there. Okay. X minus 3y equals 6. My x-intercept. Plugging in 0 for y, I will get x minus 3 multiplied by 0 equals 6. Well, 3 times 0 is 0, so that means x is just going to equal 6. So my x-intercept is 6, 0. So So I'm going to go right 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Takes me off the graph. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right there, if you will. My y-intercept, plug it in 0 for x, I will get 0 minus 3y equals negative, or equals positive 6, excuse me. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y equals negative 2. So your y-intercept is the point 0, negative 2. Left or right 0 down to negative 2. Now notice here we have a fraction that we have to deal with, but we're going to keep doing the same way. And notice this is not in standard form, but the same thing. I'm going to find my x-intercept. So I'm going to plug 0 in for y. So that means I'm going to have 0 equals 1/2 x plus 3. So I need to solve for x. So to do that, I am going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I have negative 3 equals 1/2 x. Okay? And then I'm going to multiply, I need my coefficient 1/2 to equal 1. So if I'm going to multiply it by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1, which means I also need to multiply negative 3 times 2 over 1, or negative 3 times 2. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Okay? So my x-intercept will be negative 6, 0. So I'm going down, left negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again, it's taking me off. It's going to be about right here. Okay? And now to find my y-intercept. I'm going to plug 0 in for x. So I'm going to have y equals 1/2 multiplied by 0 plus 3. But as you can see, 1/2 times 0 is just 0. So I'm going to just get y is equal to 3. So my y-intercept is the point 0, 3. My pen is not working very good today. So to graph that point, we're going to go left or right 0 and then up to 3. So that would be a graph of the line y equals 1/2 x plus 3. All right, let's do one more of these. 2x plus y equals 3. X-intercept. Plugging 0 in for y. So I'm going to have 2x plus 0 equals 3. So 2x equals 3. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So you can see x is going to equal 3/2, which is 1.5. Okay? So that's 3/2 0. Okay? So let's just estimate where that will be on our graph. That's 1.5. So there's 1. It's going to be about right here. Okay? And now my y-intercept. X is 0, so I'm going to have 2 times 0 plus y equals 3. But 2 times 0 is 0, so y just equals 3. So my y-intercept is 0, 3. Left or right 0, up 3. So the graph will look something like that. Okay, so that's how you graph a line by finding its x and y intercept. All right, if one of the coefficients a or b is 0, the graph of ax plus by equals c is going to be a horizontal or a vertical line. So right now we are going to graph some horizontal horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, so the graph of y equals b is a horizontal line passing through the points with coordinates 0, b. Okay, that would be the graph of y equals b. The graph of x equals a is a vertical line passing through the point with coordinates a0. So let me help you try to figure out how we would graph these horizontal and vertical lines using this information. Now, one way I sometimes help students understand this is we're graphing x equals -4. Okay, so x has to equal -4. So think back to when we were using two t-tables. X has to be -4. It doesn't matter what y is. So just pick a couple values for y. It doesn't matter. Okay, well, let me just use 2 and -2. Okay, well, let's just plot those two ordered pairs. -4, 2 would take us left to -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. The graph of -4, -2 would take me left -4, down -2. So it doesn't matter what y is, you're still going to be 4 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the y-axis. So you can see the graph of x equals -4 is a vertical line. Let's graph x is equal to 0. Well, let me think about it the same way. X has to be 0. Y can be anything. So let's just say it's 2 and -3. It doesn't matter what y is. Well, if x is 0, you're not moving left or right. Okay, so I won't move left or right. I'm just going to go up 2. The next one, 0, -3, go left or right, 0, down, -3. So to connect those points, just understand that's going to be a vertical line. The graph of x equals 0 is a vertical line that's directly on the y-axis. Okay, so the graph x equals 0 is a vertical line that's directly on the y-axis. All right, now let's look at these two. Let's graph y equals 5. Well, if you thought of it using a t-table, they're telling me y has to be 5. X can be anything. So let's just say, okay, well, let's say it's -2 and 3. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's graph those two ordered pairs. To graph -2, 5, I would go left -2 and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That ordered pair is right there. To graph 3, 5, I would go right 3. 1, 2, 3, and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see if I draw a line to connect those points, the graph of y equals 5 is a horizontal line. Okay, as long as you're 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above the x-axis is the line of y equals 5. Let's graph the line y equals 0. Well, y has to be 0. X can be anything. Okay, so let's just say it's -4 and 3. Let's plot these two ordered pairs. I will go left -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up or down 0. 3, 0, I will go right 3, up or down 0. Okay, connect a line. I'm trying to make that dark so you can see it. But you can see that the graph of the line y equals 0 is a horizontal line as well. But since you're not moving up or down, since y is 0, it's going to be a horizontal line that's directly on the x-axis. So the graph of y equals 0 is a horizontal line directly on the x-axis. All right, and this takes us to the U-tries, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude this lesson now. Have a good day.